Are you streaming on Twitch and looking for a bot that can do pretty much anything? Well, that's a coincidence because that's what this video is all about. Okay, so I've been streaming on Twitch for a while now and I needed a fun way to jazz up my stream. I needed a way to create fun commands for the chat, including time messages and customizable shoutouts. Now, the features that come with Streamlabs and Stream Elements are great, highly functional, they do work, but I wanted something that was a little bit more customizable, and that's where Mix It Up comes in. Mix It Up is a dedicated chatbot for your Twitch stream. It was originally created for Mixer, but you know, that's dead now. It's currently only available for PC, but if you are looking for something that works on Mac, do check out Triggerfire, because I was previously using that before I've jumped over to Mix It Up, and Triggerfire is pretty cool too. Anyway, in their own words, Mix It Up is one of the most feature-packed Twitch bots out there. And to be fair, they could be right. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do things like customizable shoutouts, sound alerts, and time messages. But if you look at their website, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what this bot can actually do. So maybe in the future, I'll make another video where I dive a little bit deeper. But for now, let's get on with it. Now, the Mix It Up bot is a standalone bot that lives outside of your Twitch stream. So that means you've got to download it. So jump over to mixitupapp.com and do just that. When you've downloaded and installed it, you'll be prompted to connect it to your Twitch account, which is as simple as just clicking the login button and going through all the permission screens. Okay, when you've done all of that, you'll be presented with this thing. Now, if you're like me, you'll be like, what the hell is this? And yeah, I agree, this interface isn't all that intuitive at first, especially if you're used to other bots. But you get used to it really quickly, and to be honest, I really appreciate how uncluttered it is compared to other bots. Okay, let's set things up then before we can make some really fun stuff. Okay, the first thing I do when I load up Mix It Up is open the dashboard by clicking on the dashboard button. This is a separate screen which you can leave open when streaming, which gives you all the things you want to see at a quick glance. You can customize the layout of this dashboard with the menu on top, and as you can see, I have some quick commands, stats, and chat. That's it. It's just a very convenient thing to have while you're streaming. Anyway, that'll do for that. Let's get back to the main window. This is the main chat panel screen you'll see when you first launch Mix It Up. Yours might look a little different as I've changed the color scheme for mine in the options. Talking of options, let's just click on the cog on the top right to get at them. There's a lot of options in here, but I'm only going to look at one specifically just to get you started. Now, if you're planning on using the Mix It Up bot to display things like images and videos on your stream or on the overlay itself, you'll need to connect it to your streaming platform as a browser source. To do this, let's just first click on the overlays menu, and then it's as simple as copying the address here and moving over to your streaming platform, say OBS for me anyway, and creating a new browser source. Here we'll paste in our address in the URL box, as well as make sure the width and height are correct for our stream. That's done. Now, if we create any commands with images, for example, they'll pop up on the screen like this. Okay, the first thing we're going to create is a sound alert. Basically, when somebody in the chat types a specific message, we want a soundbite to trigger off. To set this up, just click on the hamburger menu on the top left and choose commands from the menu. As you can see, I have quite a few commands in there already, but we'll go ahead and create a new one by clicking on the button at the bottom. Now, I actually recommend going straight in for the advanced mode, especially if you're planning on making a few of these, as you get the option to group them, so we'll choose that now. So first off, we're going to name this command. This name can be anything, as it'll just be read by you. So just make something that, you know, when you look at it, you'll remember what it is. Now, the soundbite I'm using is from a game called Simon the Sorcerer, and it goes something like this.
All the bees are stoned.
So I'm just going to call this command bees, and to be honest, I'll just do the same for the trigger, you know, keep it simple. Do note that auto selected option right there adds an exclamation mark to our trigger, so the command will actually be exclamation mark bees. Anyway, if you want to add this to a group, just type a group name or add it to an existing one in the command group section. You may want to have a quick look at the usage requirements too, as you can set things like permissions and cooldowns, but I'm fine with the default options right now. Okay, now the most important part, adding our sound. To do this, just click on the action panel and choose sound, followed by the plus button. Then browse for the sound you want and set your volume options. That's really important and something obviously I always forget to do if you've ever tuned into one of my Twitch streams. You can test how it sounds by clicking the play button below, and when you're done, just hit the save icon. You should now be able to test your command live in your streaming
All the bees
software.
are stoned.
Okay, let's move on to timed messages. Okay, what we want to do now is set up a message that will show up in chat automatically every 30 minutes. To set this up, just click on the hamburger menu again and choose timers from the menu. As you can see here, I've already set up a bunch of timed messages for my command list and Instagram account. As an example, I'm going to set up one to share out my YouTube channel. Just before we click on new command, do note that we have this set to post out these messages every 30 minutes after a minimum of 10 messages. Okay, let's click on the button. We're going to choose advanced again and name our timed message. I'll just call it YouTube, and then I'll add it to our social group I created before. For the action, I'll select the chat message option followed by clicking the plus button. Now we can add our message, which will be something like, hey you, Mr. DJ is on YouTube, followed by the link. We can then run a test and see what that looks like in the chat just by hitting that play button again, and when I'm happy, like I am, I'm going to hit that save button. We now have a new timed message. Hooray! Let's move on to shoutouts. Okay, the next thing we're going to create is a shoutout. Basically, a shoutout is a command that triggers off another streamer's info, basically anything about what they're streaming and a link to their stream. This is a great way to pay it forward and show other streamers off in your chat. Okay, just click on the hamburger menu, and just like we did with the sound alert, click on the commands option. Create a new advanced command and name it something like shoutouts, and create or choose a group for it to go in. Then just name the trigger. Let's go with SO, as everybody on Twitch seems to call it that for some reason. It's just a norm. Right from here, it might get a little bit advanced, but stick with it. It'll be worth it, honestly, I promise. Okay, add a chat message action, and in the text box, add this. As you can see within this text string, we're accessing some variables or special identifiers as they're called. I'll link to a page all about them in the description, but to be honest, I've done all the work for you in this example. Now we can test this by clicking on the play button, and it'll shout out ourselves as an example. Just bear in mind, the proper way to trigger this is to do the !SO command followed by the username you want to shout out. So for this example, it's !SO Mr. DJ. That's the one that's going to bring out a shout out for me. Now just save your work and you're done, unless you want to sprinkle a little bit of magic beans on it, whatever that means. Okay, this is my current shoutout. Aha! It has the chat message part of it, which we've just created, but it also has two other elements, sound and visual. It's at this point you might be realising the potential of the Mix It Up bot. You can stack actions. I've added an overlay action, which pulls the streamer's name and avatar onto the stream. It's just a little bit of HTML with the included streamer's special identifiers. There's some options there which set the positioning and animation of the overlay, which is really cool. But I've also added a sound action which triggers off a sound bite. All triggered together, it does a little more just to push the streamer that you're trying to shout out. So as you can see, it's a pretty powerful tool, especially when you realise the potential unlocked by stacking actions. I mean, I've only just scratched the surface here, really. I haven't looked at channel points, events or quotes, things like that, but maybe I will do that in the future. But anyway, for now, if you want to see more videos just like this one, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye.